Hello there and welcome to another episode of Dafuq Did I Just Watch? This week we'll be recapping and reviewing 2009's long-awaited sequel, Avatar and the Way of Water. And we answer the question, is it worth waiting 13 years for? Welcome to another episode of Dafuq. Now before we get the review started, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It definitely helps the show stay alive and we appreciate it here at Dafuq. If you haven't seen Avatar and the Way of Water and would still like to, please pause now and return later as there may be several spoilers up ahead. That's right, this is your official spoiler alert. The great James Cameron returns directing the long-awaited sequel to the original film, bringing with him most of the original cast, including Zoe Saldaña, Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, and of course, Sam Worthington as Jake Sully. And who is more excited about this sequel than Sam Worthington? The guy hasn't done much since the original, and what he has done has been kinda floppish. So I bet you when they made that call, Sam Worthington was like, jackpot, baby, I'm back on Pandora. Now, if only we could get a Clash of the Titans 3 going, I'd be really in business. We also have a few newcomers to the world of Pandora, including Edie Falco, Kate Winslet, and Cliff Curtis. Another bit of fun trivia, Kate Winslet shatters the breath-holding record previously held by Tom Cruise in the last Mission Impossible movie. Held his breath for about 6.5 minutes. Kate Winslet went for over 7 minutes underwater, which... props to her, but only adds to the feeling that she probably could have let Leo stay on that door a little bit longer in the Titanic, and maybe they would have both made it out okay. Now, with a runtime over 3 hours long, you'd think that James Cameron would have plenty of time to slowly roll out this story and give you time to process a lot of information. But oh no, you buckle up and hold on because there is a ton of information being dumped on you within the first 10 minutes of this movie. We're also reintroduced to Stephen Lang, who is back in the sequel, only this time he's full-on avatared up. It's explained that not only is he sort of reincarnated, but he's like reincarnated as like a clone of his former self who's been clone mixed with the Na'vi body or whatever, so now he too is also big and blue. Sigourney Weaver's performance is interesting to say the least. It's got that thing where it's like, yeah, Sigourney Weaver is a great actress. I love Sigourney Weaver. It's kind of cool that they like de-age her and also avatar her, so it's like she's a young Sigourney Weaver and also a alien Sigourney Weaver, so it's like great visual effects on Sigourney Weaver, but it is, you can't escape that weird vibe of like, I can tell this is a very old person pretending to be like a 14-year-old. I love Sigourney Weaver more than anybody, but she's 70, whatever she is, 73, 74, playing like a 13, 14-year-old. It's never gonna sync up, dude. It's always like that weird thing where you have like a really old person just being like, whatever, mom and dad. Bleh. It's just like, it's never gonna, just get a kid to play her. You can just use her face and everything, but just get a kid. You got all their kids playing the other Avatar kids. Just get another teenager to play the teenager. The majority of the film is focused on the new generation of this family, the younger kids of Jake Sully and all their crazy adventures. As far as Zoe Saldaña and Sam Worthington, if I'm being honest, they're not in the movie a ton. And when they are in the movie, their roles are basically reduced to just like the angry parents that get called when their kids are in trouble. I want to say that almost all of Sam Worthington's performances are just like, what did he do now? What did they do now? Hey, you say you're sorry to Mr. Teal over here. You say you're sorry. Okay, well, someone is in a lot of trouble when they get home, young blue Na'vi. Let's talk about one of the main selling points of this film, and that is the overall visuals. You could probably watch this entire film on mute and still probably get your money's worth because it looks amazing. It looks almost like too good. I don't think that my human eyeballs can like keep up with the phenomenal, like amazing beyond 4K that I'm like seeing. You take that into consideration with these like 3D glasses. I will say it does look phenomenal. It looks almost like too clean. It looks too, like, rendered. There's parts where it looks like I'm just playing a video game. Like, it looks too... It doesn't look like real life, if that made sense. Like, there's part where I'm watching it, I'm just like, this is just too bordering on, like, almost animation. Like, it's just like a video game at certain points. Now, when they are underwater, it looks just, like, breathtaking. Like, the movie is worth seeing just to see it. Like, it looks beautiful. James Cameron always on the cutting edge of, like, visual cinematography, and, like, it does look unbelievable. And then it's back to the pacing and the length of the movie. I mean, it's over 3 hours, but there's just, like, parts that just feel so disconnected. Or there's parts where just, like, characters just vanish for just, like, tons of this movie. Like, there's parts where, like, the parents are just gone for so long. And that's what I mean about, like, Zoe Saldaña and Sam Worthington are just, like, they just feel so reduced in this movie. Like, they're not in it a lot, and when they are in it, they're just like, well, what happened here, But there's such long gaps between, like, Stephen Lane's story and then Sam Worthington's story that it's, like, it's so disconnected. And there's something about the fact that it's not really, like, the real Stephen Lane. It's like a weird clone version of himself. So it's like, I don't really care about Stephen Lane anymore, and I really don't care about his, like, weird Tarzan kid who's, like, always got a loincloth on. They capture this kid and they have him on a military facility for, like, 2 weeks or whatever, and at no point nobody's like, hey, get this kid some sweatpants or something. Like, does he have to be rocking the Tarzan look, like, this entire film? He's got one stinky loincloth that he's wearing the whole movie. It's like, dude, get this kid some shorts, man. Like, so let's go ahead and hit Avatar and the Way of Water with our overall rating. There's just something about the vibe of the story, or maybe the pacing, where it just feels off, or it feels like even the clues that you can tell that they're setting up for later are just, like, less clues and more just, like, throwaway, like, nah, who cares? Like, let's get back to the water. The whole thing with Sigourney Weaver, and, like, she's, like, a clone, but not really, but then actually, like, a actual born person, and then, like, who's my father? And it's like, who cares, honestly? Like, it's not gonna be, like, amazing when it is finally revealed. It's just, like, it's probably gonna be that nerdy guy. Like, who cares? And why does her being, like, a weird human hybrid all of a sudden give her, like, a connection to the planet? She's controlling the planet, but then also it's like, who cares? Stephen Lane comes back as, like, a big, tall avatar, but who cares? Like, that's just, like, a recurring vibe in the film. It's just like, I want to like this movie. I want to be like, oh, but it's just like the whole time I'm just like, this is just, like, so, like, And maybe it's an effect of having a sequel that's over 13 years from the original, but there's just a real disconnect from all the characters in the film where I just don't feel any attachment to anybody in this film, and so therefore don't really care about what happens to anybody. The Way of Water is mostly saved by its visuals. The visuals are so unbelievably good that it almost makes up for how unbelievably mid the whole story is. Like, we'd probably rate it lower if it didn't look so goddamn good. With the kind of meh story, cast, and, like, everything else just being kind of just like, we're probably gonna have to slap Avatar and the Way of Water with a solid C-. If you felt differently about Avatar and the Way of Water, make sure you comment down below, and if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I am your host, as always, Kyle McLemore, and we'll see you next time at the movies.